This episode is being brought to you by Audible.com. Audible.com is peaceful, its inhabitants are kind, and thou dost belong. I beg of thee, plunge thee down the plank, and hurry over to audibletrial.com/bonfiresidechat to start your free trial today.
Some of our landings were desperate adventures. We are now prepared to meet the inevitable counterattacks with power and with confidence.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Kole Ross.
My name is Murph.
And you are listening to Bonfireside Chat Annex, an undead second favorite, where we store all of our extra stuff.
An undead appendix. It's already burst and you're alive again.
Yeah. If you haven't had your undead appendix taken out.
Yes.
And this week, in addition to the lead scenes and everything, as always, we are talking about corrections and your responses about the Return to the Asylum and the Painted World of Ariamis.
Yes. So let's do the Tiny Beings errata. I will go ahead and read Billy Riley's thing here via Facebook, which says, I believe that the Dark Moon invaders of Anne Orlando, summoned by the Dark Moon Blade Covenant Ring, do not have an invasion message. As I killed Guinevere last night for PvP. Sorry, God, why am I messing that up? Why am I messing that up, Gary? I'll put a mark.
Because there's like 4 P's in like a 5-letter radius.
PvP purposes. There we go. For PvP purposes and all of the Dark Moons that invaded me, so did in silence. So, I think
really, we're kind of becoming a medium for like this back and forth about this.
So here's the thing: if somebody invades you via the blue eye orb, then you get a message. If it is in Dark Anne Orlando, you don't get a message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is the distinction that I've determined.
That's a rare instance in which we like got a correction and then researched it and found out what actually happened. Good job, Cole.
Thank you. I was tired of hearing about it. Thank you, Billy.
No, we appreciate it, Billy. That's not what we're saying that.
No.
We have one through Facebook that I'm going to read.
Okay.
That came in kind of right before we started recording from Anthony via Facebook. And he says that you have to never talk to Frampt in order to meet Kath. Or so he thought until he read a wiki and found out that you just have to have not placed the Lord Vessel on the altar. Also, as a related note, if you never talk to the Crestfallen Knight, he never leaves Firelink and never goes mad.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So 2 things we probably made a reference to placing the Lord Vessel and that being the choice between Frampt and Kath. But you can talk to Frampt all you want, just don't place the Lord Vessel if you plan on jumping on the Kath train. So,
yeah.
And and the Crestfallen Knight, the fact that he never goes crazy if you never talk to him, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. Because he never gets jealous of you and your success in this world.
Yep. They're really good, prepare to cry on that guy. Which I'm kind of surprised. Like he's doing, really obscure characters, but he does a real good job on it.
You know what? I don't know why I take exception to his conclusion on that he decided to kill Frampt, and then failed because he does end up in New Londo. But,
I don't. Yeah, that was always my thought. Yeah. I'm not trying to be like, well, Vatavidya thinks I'm right. Like, I'm not trying to do that, but that was the conclusion I came to it as well.
Yeah,
so.
And then kind of finally, as a slightly minor thing, people send us things. See last week with the mimic texture that somebody sent. Last week we talked about the S&O artisanal company. Somebody who sends gilded pears, I believe is what you said, Gary. Something like that. Yeah. Andy Guzman on Twitter to the @Duckfeed.tv Twitter account with a logo for the S&O Artisanal Executions and Dragon Slaying Company.
Yeah, it is our banner right now on Facebook. So if you join our Facebook group, you can see that. It's great.
Yes.
I love it when people do stuff like this. Like we have the best fans
in the world.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Artisanal.
Yeah, it reminds me of something from Portlandia.
Yeah, a little bit. And also as a first, we have a live Tiny Beings errata.
Oh
Yes.
no! Anthony scooped me. Actually, I gotta
Did
give
he?
that guy a doll. Yeah.
Man.
Huh.
Just
Dang.
You've got to banish him to a prison world?
Don't do it, Murph.
He
I
deserves
got the
another
Raggedy Ann
chance.
right here.
So sorry about that.
No, it's cool.
Yeah. Didn't mean to scoop you.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, man. We are
Yeah,
wrong
so
about
they-
so much that it's hard to keep track of.
Well, we're getting fewer and fewer erratas
Oh, yeah.
every time, even though we're going to set a record with this one. Like, people are going to go nuts over this dumb conjecturing we did. So up until that point, we kind of dwindle these down, but they're going to blow up.
Solaire could not be dragon paired with a level 22 dragon. It's just not possible.
Sue, Guinevere. Yeah.
Cole just had a voice. He didn't have like a joke for that.
Nope. The joke for that voice is that it always descends into
Yep. So please tell us how we're wrong about all that stuff, about the Painted World. And because we kind of got the response thing out late, we only have a couple stories about the Painted World and the Return to the Asylum.
Yeah.
And do you want to start us off with Mason's?
Yes. So Mason says via the contact forum, the return to the Undead Asylum was a part of the game that I was not expecting, and one that greatly frustrated me. It all begins with doing some parkour off of a ledge that you would not expect you could get to, and then curling... Parkour souls. Dark mirrors edge souls that you would not expect that you could get to, and then curling up in a ball for some 20 odd seconds in a crow's nest until you're flown away back to the place where the game started. Basic undead are running amok, so it was interesting to see that. I then run right into the middle of the large arena and quickly fall and get fucking stomped by an asylum demon. Okay, well, shit. I go back and jump in and am prepared until he uses his AoE and destroys me countless times. All right, well, let me go and explore where in the asylum. Good thing there are 2 Black Knights that seem to be stronger than any fucking thing ever. Maybe it was just me being a beginner, even though I was 25 hours into the game already, but they gave me so much trouble. After defeating them, and Oscar of Astora, R.I.P. Estes dude, I get to my cell and find that there's a peculiar doll there for me. Not knowing what its purpose is for, I sigh and then leave the asylum. Of course, later on, I found out it was for the Painted World of Ariamis, which ended up being being one of my favorite areas in the game, despite it being completely optional. Yeah.
And Painted World, buddy.
Yeah.
Something interesting that I've seen, there's a way of kind of tricking the beginning by manipulating bonfires when you first leave the asylum in order to not get the Estus flask.
Really?
And you can leave without it, and it's like a crazy, insane challenge mode. And I can't remember if when you come back and kill Oscar, if you then get it. Oh, no, and I do remember because I watched the video of it. When you get up to where Oscar is, there are 2 Oscars.
What?
There's the one dying and then the one that's hollow. Because the game was never supposed to do that.
Yeah, that opens up the kimono, so him getting rid of the Estus flask was supposed to despawn the first one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. He dies at that point. And or eventually dies when you leave. But kind of interesting. And that's a challenge mode I have no interest in. And I'm somebody who's doing challenge modes, but yeah, no Estus runs for me.
Ugh.
That's insane.
Yeah. No, I like on the Something Awful thread there were some things about what is that, like save muling on PlayStation 3 where you duplicate saves and things like that to where you can start yourself in Firelink but without having gone to the asylum, getting that stuff. It's real hacky, kind of suspicious stuff.
Yeah.
So
a big reason to do that is if you're practicing for speed runs.
Right.
Like you want to have a save set at the beginning of an area and then see how quickly you can go through it and just kind of practice it over and over and over and over without having to actually do it again and again. So that's kind of a more legit reason for it. But
yeah. Yeah.
I've got a response on my personal Facebook, which I think might be fun.
Oh yeah.
So this is from Ryan Simmons, and Ryan Simmons says, I never did the Painted World. I literally only did what the game told me to do, and it says that I beat it. So, yeah. Which I suppose is a legitimate way to do it.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, it definitely is. Like,
but how? How does it say you beat it? Did you see credits?
I guess when you
see credits, is the game over?
I get. Have you still have not beat this game? Have you?
No,
Cole?
no, I have not.
yeah, well, you don't know nothing about this. Shut up.
Okay, I will abstain.
Let's have a private side podcast with people that beat the game.
With the cool kids, with the cool kids club.
The KKK. No, I mean, the only way to win is to stop playing. You're stuck in a perpetual cycle.
Yes.
So he did not beat it. No one beats it.
I won't say it.
Yeah, it's unbeatable. It's like the something of something something.
I won't say it.
Yeah, I know you. I mean, at this point, the contest has already been won.
Okay.
Which I'm really happy somebody got that. Like, it was Will, which I'm happy because he's listened to it a lot, but I'm really glad somebody got that. Yeah, and we all had similar experiences to what you're talking about, where there's something in the game where you didn't notice on your first times. Like the first time through the game, I didn't kill Guinevere and never fought Gwendolyn. And, last episode we had Bob Mackey on, and he hadn't seen it either. You know, you can get through the game and think that you're done with it many times over without seeing everything. You know, so.
Like I'll confess, I have not beaten Manus yet.
Yeah, he's a fucking son of a bitch. Like that is the hardest boss. And I was on my soul level 1 character. I got up to Gwen and I was having a hard time with Gwen, and I was like, okay, I keep dying. Maybe this is telling me something. Maybe I need to not be a pussy and actually go fight the DLC bosses with him. And I'm like, okay, Guardian, fine, Sanctuary Guardian. I'm having a hard time with Artorias, but like that fight always feels fair to me, no matter, how many times I die. Like I love that fight. I'm dreading Manus so much. I think that's the hardest boss fight in the game.
Yeah.
Like Manus is so hard for me.
That like Manus is the only boss fight that I have not been able to beat, just like not because I've chosen not to, because of Gwen. Again, that's a choice.
Sure.
But no, Manus is the one that I legit can't swing.
Manus is so hard. And even I used to think Calamite was harder, but then I realized Calamite, ranged weapons, makes it trivial, you can make Calamite really easy. There's no Manus, I feel like I know his patterns, but he's so unpredictable and so aggressive, and the random number generator just operates in a way that never gives me a chance to do what I need to do. I have such a hard time with that guy. And I'm going to do it at level 1, and it's going to fucking... Everything in the DLC has huge resistance to fire, and that's your only source of damage at level 1. And it's going to be... I'm going to come out of it, it is a crucible, and I'm going to come out of it a better, stronger man.
And by come out of it as a better, stronger man, you mean come out of it with a shock of white hair.
Yeah, but I mean, but stronger for it. Not like the shock of white hair in it, but the shock of white hair, like a dignified David Lynch figure or something like that. It's going to be, I'm going to be strong after I beat Manus at soul level 1, and after I beat Manus without fucking using a shield. Which again is also going to suck.
Are you at least summoning Seath?
Or Sif?
Seath.
If I could summon Seath, I'd be no problem.
Golden.
I've been okay with summoning people so far. Okay. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I haven't summoned. I did Ornstein and Smo helping Brayton out through Anor Londo, so I had him help me with Ornstein and Smo with my shieldless guy. Mm-hmm. That's the only time I've summoned anybody so far. So we'll see. Sif, I've always found him to be mildly helpful at best in that fight. He lets you heal.
It's distraction.
Yeah, because he does 60 damage, which is what my soul level 1 character is going to do. So it's going to be a double Sif.
Double Sif in it.
Yeah, my first playthrough, I just didn't quite get humanity and like, why should I hold on to this? I'll just lose it. So like literally the only time I summoned someone was Solaire on the Centipede Demon.
Yeah.
But
which is damn near essential because I hate that fucking boss fight.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
But oof. Now like Ornstein and Smo is crazy easier when I'm like, oh yeah, I have someone to distract somebody.
Yeah, and because you're just fighting one of them, it's no problem. I think I've said this. I've mentioned it a couple times, and I just want to. I'm not saying it to be braggy, but I just want to plug it as a thing. I recommend anybody who's maybe a little bored with the game to try this like shieldless playthrough because it's really fun. Like it's really difficult, but in a way that like makes you approach every situation really differently.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I recommend it.
This playthrough I'm going through as the Zwei.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like if you don't have that security blanket to cling to, it turns into a harsh, brave new world.
Take the things you're comfortable with and remove them from yourself,
right?
And that is how you become a better man. Mm-hmm. We have one other response that's not specifically in relation to the area, but we wanted to read it anyway. Is one from one of our favorite people.
Yes.
This is from Amy Holbrook via Facebook. And she says, a week or two ago, I posted about how I finished Dark Souls, and now it is time for a break to play the other things I'd accumulated in the interim. The only thing I played since is New Game Plus. The friend who got me into Dark Souls told me the only way to quit was by playing vicariously through me. So now I just need to pass it on to someone else. So it's like Slender Man in that respect. Like, the more you learn about it, the more it gets you. It's interesting though because she brings that up. Like, and it sounds like you're doing this too, Murph. Like, I played through this game a bunch of times. I've never made it through New Game Plus. Like, I've never wanted to just make the numbers go up. I always want to have a different ability set.
Yeah, and even in my New Game Plus, like I started out with like a strength build. Like right now, I'm in that game. I'm working towards the Great Sword Astorius, the one that has crazy like A's in every or B's or something in every slot.
Yeah.
So like I'm just like constantly bumping like faith and intelligence. So he's a fighter, but now he's also smart and faithful.
He's multi-classing.
Yes.
I found because I guess if you go through New Game Plus enough times, you can become kind of a jack of all trades. Would maybe be the idea, but like I'm just like, what if I want 0 poise for the whole playthrough, or what if I only use sorcery or only do this? Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. Like as soon as I beat it, I didn't go into New Game Plus. I started a sorcerer run, if you will, and now I'm doing an agility run with knives, which is works great against things that you can parry and backstab, but not so well on anything else.
Right.
Yeah. So Amy, if you're looking for a way to feed your addiction rather than break it, try playing through it with a different kind of build. And I found that to be really satisfying, and really quick. Like I can do a playthrough of the game now in like 18 hours, right. So it's like it's not too bad. So, yeah. Cool.
So, I had something here just in case we went short on the episode, which we're not really going to do just because it's been a little bit since we started this. But since we kicked off the last episode, Dark Souls 2, not only had a new trailer, but a gameplay video that was going to put out. And that looks fucking sweet.
Yeah. I guess the one thing I missed, if I can say, from that trailer video is I didn't see anything that resembled humanity.
Yeah.
There's definitively not. Like in the place where there's a counter, there's a little moon symbol or like a little astrological symbol. And we know that like time travel and time of day are both going to be involved in the game. Yeah. So my thinking being that like you either manipulate that or that is an indicator for that somehow.
Yeah.
And like I know Estus flasks were confirmed, I think on the developer interview, but I didn't see any in the actual footage. It was some kind of like healing stone.
Yeah, it was the shining stone of something or other.
Yeah. And did you notice when he was fighting like the crazy thing that burst through the wall when he had it targeted? It seemed like you could use the healing stone on that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, what that could mean. Like that's some crazy shit. Like everything. I mean, and I'm not. This is gonna make me sound like a sycophantic fanboy, which like we started this podcast. Like there's no doubt about being a sycophantic fanboy in the series at this point. Like or otherwise I wouldn't put this many hours into everything about it. But the I've got like I've never had a game boner this big. Like I've never been stoking a game boner like this. Like everything about it looks encouraging to me.
Oh yeah.
Like there's nothing that's like I don't really like the sound of that. And there could have been, like initially when the buzz first came about it, people were like, someone said something about making it more accessible, and the internet freaked out. And he's hence articulated better what he means by that, and it doesn't sound like a bad thing, So
and like even as recently as like what was this yesterday, something like that, where Vati Vijaya, the guy who does the Prepare to Cry, he came out and did an analysis of like stuff that I never would have noticed, but still is incredibly heartening.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of cool new features, like a lot of like the idea of having a shield on your back, making you immune to backstabs.
Yeah.
Or making that increase your armor on your back. The developers have outright said that like, there's going to be like in the first half of the game, like fewer enemies, but you have to be more thoughtful about them, which like that can only be a good thing. Like I appreciate that. Because like the first time you run into a horde of enemies in Dark Souls, it's really cool. And then the third or fourth time, it's a little bit less novel, like that's one way to take on a fight. But
like I got, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that I got really excited with the turtle looking enemies that you go for the backstab and they just like fall on you.
Yep.
Just completely subverting that expectation.
Man, at one point on that part where you're climbing up that tower, a guy throws an axe at you and you knock it out of the air with your sword.
Oh, that's so badass.
Holy shit! Like you, like come on, guys.
Like the setting. I want to fight I want to fight the thing that wields that sword.
Yeah, that giant. Yeah, exactly. You're walking up a giant sword, and like, oh man, this is not a set piece.
Nope.
Yeah,
but all of that kind of like heightening this situational awareness that you have to have. Like those are the things that I love Sens because it's like everything I assumed is wrong. The floor is killing me. The ceiling, the walls, everything. Like just make everything that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of like at this point with video games, like I've gotten really patient. Like there are very few things that are going to come out that I will buy new. Let alone pre-order, like in the last year, it's been like The Walking Dead and BioShock. And that's really, that's almost it. But like the gold star category for me that like previously was only for Fallout games and now is for Souls games are like games I'm going to take time off of work. Like I'm going to find out when this comes out. I'm going to pre-order it and then probably take a couple of vacation days and do like a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
And that is going to be, I can't remember. I'm sure I've told you this before, Cole, at some point on Fireballs, but like one of my most like gooniest things I've ever done when I was as a teenager who was like crazy into Final Fantasy was my friend Derek got a PlayStation and Final Fantasy VII before I did, and we were both huge fans of the series, and it was a big deal. And I'd gone over his house and watched him play it and freaked the fuck out. And he loaned me his PlayStation and the game. And I beat it over the course of 3 days.
Jesus.
Like a week. This is goony as shit. Like I have hence evolved, people. But the 3 days where I subsisted, and I shit you not, this is disgusting. This is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever said out loud. Like subsisted entirely on like a case of Coke and a couple boxes of cherry cordials.
What?
Yup.
Wait, like a pastry, like some kind of fruit pastry?
No, like chocolate covered cherries.
Oh
no!
Like,
God.
Yeah. And I hated them. At the time, I hated them. Like, this didn't make me hate them. My mom used to give them she always thought that I liked them, and I didn't have the heart to tell her I hated them. So she bought me like 3 boxes for Easter. This was right around then. I'm like, well, I'm going to need some kind of calorie to like push buttons. And just sat on the floor of my sad little bedroom.
It's fruit, right?
Yeah. It's disgusting. I disgust myself. Yeah, but that is true, and that's what I'm envisioning here. Is that like I'm going to like make a big pot of like bachelor chow. Like I'm just going to cook a bunch of vegetables and throw some TVP in there, and a little soy sauce and salt, and then have that there, and just not leave my couch for a couple of days. Like and yeah, I'm exaggerating. I'm probably going to leave the house and be a normal human being. Like, but I am really excited. This is all exaggeration in service of how excited I am.
Like, you're giving me flashbacks to my my WoW days. I'm a recovering MMO addict.
Yeah,
I cannot play any more MMOs ever.
This is a safe place.
Which one was this? Was this Burning Crusade that you?
No, this is vanilla.
Wow, okay.
I was back. Yeah, I had tier 2, baby. Back when that meant something.
back when that meant. That is funny. Yeah.
Which was never, actually, so... I just made myself sad.
You know what? It's funny. You guys sacrifice, like, chunks of your life. I just always sacrifice a sliver every single day.
You tithe.
I tithe.
Whereas for me, it's a vacation, but yeah, it's integrated for you.
That's funny. Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm excited. Every new detail. Like, I just want to know when it's coming out, man.
Yeah.
I have seen like 3 places, and one has said like December, one has said like next year. I think the earliest I've seen is November. I think all of those are lies.
I'm like worried that it's going to make me buy a fucking PS4.
Yeah, that would be terrible. like I really want day and date PC. Like really bad.
Well, they've said so much. Like, hey, the PC version of Dark Souls 1 was half-assed, so we're going to try and like fix that. Yeah,
and it's actually great. Like as long as you do the controller fix,
right?
Especially now that they're improved. Like the modders are doing things for good. Like they've fixed connectivity. Like there's a mod now that's like if you want to play with your friend, you can get summoned every time in 10 seconds.
Right. Yeah. White hat Dark Souls modders.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like thank goodness that there's some people. They're like the rebellion in a sci-fi movie who are doing good in the face of great evil.
Yeah.
From Software just sends them a bunch of dolls.
No! What is this red book that I've found?
Bring me red pages.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm surprised you didn't make the Myst comparison during the episode, Cole.
You know what? It took a surprising amount of restraint.
Yeah. They're just you flexing.
Yeah.
The entire episode not to bring up Myst. Good job.
I muted my mic when I was visibly struggling.
Yeah, or when you were just saying Myst. Like you just muted every time when you said, yeah, like Myst. And then
I'm surprised it didn't come up is Moonside from Earthbound, which is another painted world that you jump into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, we didn't think about that.
Since there's no apropos place to talk about this, what about Earthbound coming out on the Virtual Console later?
Yeah. Who'd have freaking thunk?
I know, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, it's dumb that they haven't done it already. Yeah. It's one of those things like when people were happy that we have a black president now. Like I was a little sad that we just now have it. I was a little bit like, yeah, but it's 2000. Like. Like don't be so quick to pat yourself on the back, Nintendo and/or America. Like this is a long time in coming. Okay,
we did it.
God. I'm actually a little more excited about the Link.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. I don't care if it's horrible. I just want it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm probably not going to play Earthbound again. Like before, no, I'll play it again before I die, but it's going to be a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of years.
Yeah. But the Link to the Past sequel is really cool.
Yeah.
Like back when I had a Nintendo and I had to ask Mom when I could play Super Nintendo, like that game. I don't know if that had a play clock.
Oh yeah.
That would probably be in the years.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's my favorite Zelda game. Like by far, like I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like Link's Awakening more. However, I have put more hours into it just by dint of the will that it has a longer play clock. However, I got to the final dungeon, and then my SNES cartridge lost the save. Yeah.
We've talked about you liking Link's Awakening more. Like, it'll be interesting if we ever get around to doing that for Fireballs, which I want to. Like, I would enjoy doing that because I'm a Link's Awakening fan as well, but I don't like it as much. And it's not like I don't like it nearly as much, but I played both of which recently, and I think that Link to the Past is a lot better.
I am basing these opinions sheerly on my childhood, not the most recent times that I played them.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
It's a great game. Like Link's Awakening is wonderful.
Yeah.
Like there's no arguing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I win. Yeah.
While we're talking about other like old Super Nintendo games, segue. There's actually a game that was important to my childhood called Soul Blazer.
Yeah, I know Soul Blazer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There's also a Painted World in there.
Yeah, interesting. Soul Blazer is something that I've suggested for Fireballs before.
Yeah,
you should totally do that.
Because the Soul Blazer, if I recall, right, like you're rescuing people, right? It's like a
Right.
Zelda-like, but yeah, you're bringing people back and they kind of populate a town.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a cool game.
I don't want to supersede your authority, Gary, but let's bump that to the list for summer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a total JRPG.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like it's more actiony.
Yeah.
Is that true? Like you control. So the issue with doing it in the summer would it be butting up against if we do want to do the mana redemption and do do Secret of Mana.
Oh yeah.
So it's probably a little too similar to Secret of Mana, but we could do Soul Blazer, as we do a Zelda like in the summer, and put off Secret of Mana. Like I like Secret of Mana, but
I would do Secret of Mana in the winter. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is like Secret of Mana. If we're trying to keep this ratio of weirdo games to big huge hits.
Yeah.
Soul Blazer is a weirdo game, and Secret of Mana is a huge hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, like, I'm thinking specifically of between Deus Ex and Episode 50.
Oh yeah, we can announce it next.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
Yeah, I've heard like enough recos of that to like think like, okay, there's a clamor for it. So,
is Soul Blazer the one where you switch between two different avatars?
No, it's.
Do you know that's Illusion of Gaia? That's the one I always get confused with.
Yeah, you have like a knight and then like a kid with a dog or something like that.
Yeah, well, no, a kid with a dog is Secret of Evermore.
Yeah, God, there's like that and like Terranigma and like
yeah,
they're all like reasonably similar.
You know what? We've gotten a lot of Terranigma too.
I've never played Terranigma.
It's good. It's very similar to Soul Blazer.
Yeah.
Secret of Evermore is a real weird game if anybody's played that recently.
Yeah,
like
it has a cameo from Cecil from Final Fantasy IV.
And it has a really complicated like reagent system.
Yeah.
For all your spells. Like you have to collect little bits and tufts of fur and stuff like that to do any offensive magic. It's really odd.
I remember liking it a lot.
Me too, but I bet you it doesn't.
Yeah,
I can see it going up.
Is that the one where you start out in like dinosaur time and your dog transforms according to the time era? Okay. Yeah. I never really got into that one.
Yeah. Man, we're just shooting around, watch out for fireball stuff. If next time, we might not want to have a butt up against Soul Blazer, but we should really consider, and maybe end of summer, doing ActRaiser.
Yeah, Ooh. Yeah. ActRaiser is a perennial favorite.
Yeah, that's a real good game, and there's a lot of like genre mixing and weirdness in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I optimized the crap out of ActRaiser's town building when I was younger.
Oh yeah, we had to like raise the low income housing.
Yeah. You're poor. Lightning.
Yeah.
And you do it as like a naked angel, so it's okay.
So it's fine.
So it's cute.
Yeah.
So good. Video games are good, guys.
I really like video games a lot.
So if you have comments about Ghost Town or Forest Town, it is not too late by the time you hear this. Please go to Duckfeed.tv /contact, Facebook, Twitter, any way you can get in touch with us. Share your stories, share your corrections, and we'll read them on the next Appendix episode.
Yes, and you can also share those with us on our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/bonfiresidechat. There's awesome stuff happening there, awesome GIFs and images and all things of that sort.
Yeah. And so in what follows will be some deleted scenes and some off-topic conversation about video games in general with our guest. So we took the opportunity of being on mic with Murph to do a little bit of that. But until next time, this is Gary Butterfield.
This is Kole Ross.
This is Murph Murphy.
And praise the sun.
Praise the sun.
Praise the sun.
What seeketh thee?
Hey, this is Gary. I'm editing the episode, and I have a quick little interruption for you. Two things. As I mentioned at the beginning, this episode is brought to you by Audible.com, and if you want to get a free audiobook and help us out, please go to audibletrial.com/bonfiresidechat. Second thing, for fans of the Let's Play, for the last episode, I uploaded a version without commentary because I'm a colossal fucking ding-dong. Somebody should trap me into a prison world because I am an idiot. I fixed it, so if you're checking out the Let's Play, I appreciate it. That's awesome. And go back and re-listen to that one. Otherwise, there's just a really long, boring episode of just no commentary at all. Now there's commentary, and the new one has commentary. I learned some editing tricks, and I'm better now, I promise. And thank you very much for watching and listening, and audibletrial.com/bonfiresidechat.
What seeketh thee?
Cool.
And cute.
Do you ever roleplay as a Bond villain?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. My cat is not sinister.
No.
And there's no, he's not one of those cats.
I didn't-
There are cats but
I mean,
he is not. I know you're not implying anything about him.
I'm not implying anything. I wasn't implying that you needed to be an effective Bond villain.
Yeah, he's way too much of a goober for that. So he's doing little barrel rolls and trying to bury his head into my stomach.
Ah, yes.
It would undermine any intimidation factor.
Oh. Oh,
What a weird cliche that like having a cat on your lap makes you more intimidating.
more prone to wanting to destroy the world.
Yeah, this makes me want to. This makes me want to save the world.
It's the light around which you huddle.
Yeah, exactly. Any world with this cat in it, I'm going to save.
What seeketh thee?
Oh, Jesus. That is an icon.
Take that.
I did not picture that you looked that way. I had a different picture in my mind's eye.
I'm way older than I sound. Way older.
Way hermitier.
Yeah. Yeah, I live on an island.
Oh, okay.
I own the island. It is a sovereign nation.
Do you hunt the people that wash ashore?
There's only one other person who washed ashore, and I call it wife. And it is now and that's the end of that.
In this mythos that you're building, how did I meet you?
Did
you spare me at the last moment? Okay,
Yeah.
message in a bottle.
Yeah. The police wrote a song about it.
Oh man.
What seeketh thee?
I'm also recording,
Yes.
so we know that we have triple insurance.
Just in case we need to Rashomon this bee.
Yeah, in case there are two separate disastrous thunderstorms or earthquakes.
I feel like maybe we could put together some kind of episode where, like, some third or fourth neutral party, like, all hears our story of the version of the episode, and it's all exaggerated in different ways.
And then Gary was all up in my piece about this stupid bullshit.
And then I was like, nah. Why was I all up in your piece?
I don't know.
Everyone was enjoying my Solaire/Seath fanfic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that you were that you were saying you were going to try and beat Seath with your Solaire gimmick build, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the code word for it.
What seeketh thee?
Oh,
Cole's
yes.
from the south of the Midwest, so
yeah.
and he doesn't He's very, very rarely racist.
And even then, it's inadvertently. It is a very naive kind of racism where I'm like a 25-year-old grandpa in that way. It's kind of like, oh, he just doesn't know.
Man, Kole Ross, 25-year-old grandpa. Like, has there been a more apt description for you, or a better name for like an autobiography or album or something? Did you just come up with that?
Yeah,
that's really good, Cole. Like, I'm going to start describing you to other people that way. Like, oh, I do this show with this 25-year-old grandpa, and he, that's really good. I'm surprised Chris didn't come up with that. Like, that's really good.
The only person who hates me more than Chris is me. So yeah, no. I've got stock from South Carolina. So yeah.
Whenever have you ever seen the oh gosh, it's a Netflix documentary, Nerdcore Rising.
I always see it on the suggested things, but I never watched it.
It's definitely worth watching. But so at one point, MC Chris goes to a place in South Carolina, in Columbia, where like I went to college, and there's one bar, and then suddenly like all the music where you're supposed to feel bad, like this is like the low point in the documentary, and you're like, it's just people in this bar that I used to go to being like, I didn't get it. He was like rapping about bleeps and bloops. I didn't understand. Yeah. I was like, oh. Way to represent.
What seeketh thee?
Well, Cole is significantly younger than the two of us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a 32.
Freshman.
Yeah, he's new fish.
Like I said, I'm a precocious youth.
Yeah. 25-year-old grandpa.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I guess I can't really talk now. I'm in Florida now, and like literally all those crazy news stories you see and probably use on those damn Ross kids. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened
next
10
door
minutes from my house. Yeah,
Florida is the south of the South. Like you know, like in Beetlejuice, where they open up that door to the Lost Souls room, and they're like, the Lost Souls room. It's like death for the dead, or exorcism is like death for the dead. That's Florida, man.
Yeah.
Like,
just teasing you.
I completely agree. Like, northern Florida is just a shithole, and central Florida has some redeeming qualities, and then it gets a little bit better, and if you like the outdoors in the south. But like, literally, there's a town called Palm Bay, and you will get a disproportionate number of like crazy samurai guys and people shooting like from Palm Bay stories.
It's always fucking samurai swords. It's always samurai swords.
That is the next town over from me. So I'm like, oh yeah.
I have
Feudal Japan, alive and well.
I have a Google alert for samurai swords and killed with a bow and arrow.
I would suggest adding Palm Bay on there.
Okay. Well, will that help me narrow down from like knife and Renaissance fair shows?
Probably, actually.
Okay.
It's a really good heuristic.
Okay.
I mean, one of the local radio shows for I guess Central Florida has a bit called Palm Bay or Not Palm Bay, where you have to guess, is this story coming out of Palm Bay or not? And it's half the time it's Palm Bay.
But like so is it out of Palm Bay or not? And by not, are we making it up because it's too crazy?
No, it's just anywhere else in the USA.
Okay.
So, I mean, literally, just another fun fact about Florida: we dispense more OxyContin than all other states combined.
Wow,
that's fun.
Like Kansas. Like, I think the governor of Kansas was like, "Hey guys." Could you calm down?
Just calm down with the oxys, yo.
It's what we had going for us.
So dispense like legally? Like, do you just have like doctors that pop up and write scripts for 750 oxys?
Yeah. Well, you say that in somewhat exaggeration, but no, that's pretty literal.
Well, no, I read a story about somebody who was caught in the South with 750 oxys on one script. Oh,
was this the last? Yeah, the last damn Ross kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was probably coming from Florida.
Right. No, I know a couple of people just because of how I grew up. My entire family's in corrections. Who just it's weird. Like they work in corrections, and but for the grace of God, I probably would have ended up like OD'd on heroin because of where I grew up. It's the heroin capital of the Midwest. Mansfield is. It's seriously, yeah.
Yeah, I
but
believe
but it's this awful thing. Like we know people who flew to Florida just to stay in the airport to get drugs from a mule and then like drive back and then just fucking OD'd right there in the right there in the terminal.
Yeah,
Because like that was their cut.
Yep.
Like it's a sad thing. Like these are people who like, oh, that was my babysitter's son. Fuck. But you know.
Welcome to Florida. Yep. OD. Oh man, pharmaceutical tourism. Why go all the way to Mexico?
ODs and OJs.
Oh man.
The son's
What seeketh thee?
Oh.
What are you drinking on?
Monster Energy drink. This is not my. You gotta keep it up. Gotta pep it up, I guess. I was also out of rum, so, and also, this is a more analytical, I guess, podcast, if you will. So I don't feel the typical podcast fuel was appropriate.
Podcast fuel equals rum.
Somebody endorse us, like some rum company.
Pod fuel.
Actually, I got some of the Trader Joe's rum, which is exceptionally cheap, but really, really good, just in terms of rum.
Oh
It would
gosh,
have been really funny if you would have said bad at the end.
it is really.
It's exceptionally cheap, but it's terrible.
The taste reflects the quality. Or no,
Met my
the price
expectation
reflects quality.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like Dr. Bronner's mint rum or anything like that.
Admiral Nelson.
What seeketh thee?
Yay.
That was the most dignified one. Like it was the one that wasn't asking a question. So I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, confident.
Very sure of yourself, Murph. Thank you.
Oh yes, that's sun. I live in Florida, so you know
Yeah,
we're all about
praise,
that.
Yeah.
Praise the OxyContin. Oh, maybe we should cut that out.
No, it'll be the outro.
What seeketh thee?
Yeah.
But-
It's like when people criticize the Pope that was in Nazi youth, where they're like, he used to be in Nazi youth.
Yeah,
You know, well, what? Like, if I was 15 years old, then I'd be like, fuck you, Hitler, and then skate out on a dinosaur. And, you know. So it's like, no,
Yeah.
you wouldn't. You do exactly the same thing he did,
Yeah.
you asshole.
And we all pray that we will have far more soon